Hello everybody, Raven Knight here, coming at you with another story sharing video. Gosh, it's been a while since I did one of these. So let's talk about one that I have mixed feelings about. Today we're going to be talking about one of my first completed romance stories. This is My Alien Girlfriend. I don't have as much art for this one because I didn't have a whole lot of artists working on this one. In fact, most of the art for this one was done out of charity. I didn't go to anyone and say, hey, could you draw this? They all just drew it. So don't be surprised if you don't see a whole lot of art for it, but either way, let's talk about it. So, the real inspiration for My Alien Girlfriend is pretty easy to comprehend. I just like the idea of writing romance. It's not a genre I'm good at writing, but I wanted to give it a shot. The story's basic. You have this guy who's in college, and he is driving back to college from home, and along the way he sees that a strange object has fallen out of the sky, and he doesn't understand it. When he gets back home, he discovers that there is this strange alien creature crawling through his kitchen looking for food. He chases her out the door and then tries to grapple her to see if he can find out what she is, only to find out that she is definitely not of this world. After some trial and error in trying to communicate and some very humorous situations, he comes to learn that she is actually an alien from a far-off world. And what's going on is that her race shares her planet with another race that is at war with her race. And she is a valuable hostage that has managed to escape the conflict and make it to Earth. Here she's trying to hide out so that she can't be used as a hostage. However, that race that she's at war with has found out where she is and are coming down to collect her, and so now our main protagonist has to decide if she's someone worth protecting. Alright, so my thoughts on it. On the good side of things, I thought that it was fun. I enjoyed it enough to actually finish the story. I actually really enjoyed writing the characters and creating unique ways in which they communicate, especially miscommunications. I liked writing college classes that are bound with the knowledge that there's a secret that you got to keep. Although I will admit that the trope of keeping a secret from everyone around you can get pretty old. I try not to focus on that too much because over time I did let the knowledge of the alien girl slip. So over time, it did help to be able to just reveal that situation in that scenario over time. So that didn't really weigh on me too much. But with me adding that, there are some real problems with the story, and I can't avoid them. For one thing, it was rushed. I really didn't take a lot of time to, work out the communication issues. I made it kind of easy. You know how in Teen Titans, Starfire learns how to speak Earthling language by kissing Robin? Yeah, I kind of borrowed that because I wasn't creative enough when I first started writing this story to think of clever ways for them to communicate that didn't involve verbal language. I blame myself for that, but in my defense, I wasn't a great writer yet. I didn't know the best way to approach that situation, so I borrowed an idea from somewhere else just to get me out of that rough patch, and I regret that. That was a poor decision on my part when there were so many other creative options that we could have used. Sign language, body language, pantomiming, tools. There were lots of creative ways I could have done that better, and maybe someday I can either return to this story and fix that, or I can, in a later story or a new story that I write somewhere down the line, incorporate those ideas a little bit better. Another problem that I had is the alien girl's design. It's not bad, but I'll be honest, I got the idea. Basically, take the Disney show Gargoyles, remove their wings. That's pretty much where I got the inspiration from. I'm not going to lie about that. I just kind of went with that. So, yeah, nothing crazy about that. Although I will say that one of the things I liked about it, there was this one chapter where she disappears in the morning and he thinks that he chased her off and he runs around looking for her and finds her in the soccer field only to learn that she was using the soccer field because she thought that the line chalks were symbols in her own language and she thought that it was some way she could contact a ship to pick her up. I thought that was actually a creative idea on my part, so I will give myself credit on that one. But other than that, I feel like I could have expanded on the aliens a little bit more. I could have expanded more on their society, how they worked, why they were at war. There was a lot that I could have done, but I didn't, and that's a shame on my part. And also the way it ended. Okay, spoilers, if you want to read the story, don't watch anymore. But spoiler alert right here. I did end it with it being revealed that she has a baby in the end, and it's his. Shocker. I did not involve the sex scene because I didn't want to. I was still getting used to the idea of even writing such a scene. And yeah, so there is that. Now, how do I mostly feeling the story. I'm very proud of the fact that I wrote it. I think it came out better than I give myself credit for. But is it one that I really think is I can hold above others like Monster Club or Shogun of Crime? No, it's not. Genuinely, it's a story that I'm glad I wrote to help me practice writing romance stories. But I do think that it could have been a lot better than it was. There are several areas that I could have improved on. And I admit that it was a good bounce off point for me to work on other stories like Upon the Stars, which is another story that I'll have to write a story sharing episode around. But regardless, this video's getting long enough. There's not a whole lot to it. The characters are pretty standard and stale, which again is a bit of a criticism on myself. The main character, he's your generic good guy. The only unique character is Yumi, who's the alien girl, and she's a fish out of water. Very much a Starfire-like character, fascinated by everything but cautious around others. Not a hard thing to write, but I really should have challenged myself more. I think this was a good practice, but I could have pushed myself a little bit further. And I think that's the best way to look at my alien girlfriend. As one person joked, there is no question who the girlfriend is. It's the alien. The title gave it away. Probably could have come up with a better title, but hey, I'm not as great at writing titles. So anyway, I hope you guys liked this episode of Story Sharing. It's a little bit shorter than my others. It's also the only one that doesn't have any art from Jay or Hannah, believe it or not. They never contributed art to this story. These art pieces that I've shown you are from other people who have seen it on DeviantArt, and they've added their own stuff to it, so I want to thank them and the followers who enjoy it. If you want to read the story, as silly as it is, you can check it out in the link in the description. If you want to see more story sharing episodes, I'm releasing a playlist with all my story sharing episodes in them. And that about does it, guys. I'll be releasing another episode every Monday. And until then, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care.